I want to talk about thematic rules or theta rules in the area of the phrasal and sentential semantic studies. In today's talk, we are going to look at its three concepts. There are thematic rules or theta rules, the theta assignment, and theta criterion. First of all, let's define the term thematic rules. Thematic rules or theta rules are linguistic labels that specify the semantic function of an argument, that is, the noun phrase, in relation to a predicate, that is, a verb. So to put it simply, normally a sentence follows the syntactic rule, that is, subject, verb, and object. Now, let's put the verb aside for a moment. Let's focus on the subject and object. Normally, the subject and object are constructed by a noun or noun phrase. And here, what the semantic rules do is that it labels each of the noun or noun phrases with different terms. Let's look at those three sentences. John likes the ice cream. So here, the subject John as a noun is assigned to the semantic role as experiencer, and the object, the ice cream, is assigned to the semantic role as the theme. Let's look at the second sentence. The wind blew the door open. Here, the subject phrase, the wind, is assigned to the semantic rules as causative, and the object, the door, is assigned to the semantic rule as the theme. Let's look at the third sentence. The chef cooked the soup in the kitchen. Here, the subject, the chef, as a noun phrase, is assigned to this semantic role as an agent. The subject, the soup, as a noun phrase, is assigned to the semantic role as theme. And the prepositional phrase, the kitchen, as the noun phrase, is assigned to this semantic role as location. Let's look at Theta Criterion. The concept of the Theta Criterion, it is a principle stating that each argument, that is, noun phrase, in a sentence must be assigned exactly one theta role or semantic role, and each theta role or semantic role must be assigned to exactly one argument, that is, noun phrase. So put it simply, the Theta Criterion is that, firstly, every argument, that is, the noun phrase, should be assigned to a theta role in a sentence. Secondly, each theta role that is assigned in a sentence should be different with each other. Let's look at the examples of Theta Criterion violation. Let's look at the first sentence. Bob placed the flute, the guitar on the table. Here in the sentence, those two noun phrases, the flute and the guitar, they both are assigned to the theta roles as theme. As the concept of Theta Criterion, they are violating the rule, that is, each argument in the sentence should be assigned to a different theta role. Let's look at the second example. John placed the flute on the table. Here, the subject John as a noun doesn't assign to any theta rho, so it's also a violation of the Theta Criterion principle. Let's look at the theta assignment. The concept of the theta assignment is the process by which a predicate, that is a verb, assigns thematic roles or theta roles to its argument, that is nouns. The specific theta roles assigned depend on the verb's meaning, the sentence structure, and how it relates to events. Let's look at the sentence, Katie's talking with her mom on the phone. Here, the subject Katie as an argument, that is a noun, should be assigned to a theta role. Is talking as a predicate, that is the verb. Her mom as argument, that is the noun, should be assigned to a theta role. The phone as an argument, that is the noun, should be assigned to a theta role. Let's look at the terms of theta roles. Let's look at the term instrument. The sentence, he hit the dog with a stick. Here, the noun phrase, a stick, is assigned to the theta role as instrument. The term instrument is defined as the entity is used to perform an action. Let's look at the term agent. The sentence, John marched. Here, the subject, John as a noun, is assigned to the theta role as agent. The term agent is defined as the entity that to perform or cause an action, typically by human, but also non-human. For example, creatures, machines, etc. Let's look at the term experiencer. The sentence, Mary heard a strange noise. Here, the subject Mary as a noun is assigned to the theta role as experiencer. The term experiencer is defined as a person who can feel, perceive, or experience something mentally. Let's look at the term the source. The sentence, he flew from Iowa to Idaho. The noun Iowa is assigned to the theta role as source. The term source is defined as an entity from which an action originates. Let's look at the term the goal. The sentence, he walked to the school. The noun school is assigned to the theta role as the goal. And the term goal is defined as the entity to which an action is directed. Let's look at the term location. The sentence, I live in Warsaw. Here, the noun Warsaw is assigned to the theta role as location. The term location is defined as where an entity is or an action happens. Let's look at the term theme. The sentence, John marched the prisoners. The phrase the prisoners is assigned to the theta role as theme. The term theme is defined as the entity that is involved in or affected by the action, the entity that is described. Let's look at the term possessor. The sentence, the tail of the dog wagged furiously. The noun phrase, the dog, is assigned to the theta role as possessor, and the term possessor is defined as the entity that owns something. Let's look at the term causative. The sentence, the wind damaged the roof. The noun phrase the wind is assigned to the theta rho as causative. The term causative is defined as a natural force that causes a change. Now let's look at some example sentences of the theta assignment. If we align those sentences to the concept of the theta assignment, that is, the meaning of the verb, the sentence structure, and the theme of the sentence, we can easily to identify each of the theta role in the sentence. Let's look at the first sentence. Mary found a ball in a house. Here, Mary, as the subject of the noun, is assigned to the theta role as an agent. A ball of a noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as the theme. The house of a noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as the location. Let's look at the second sentence. The children run from the playground to the wedding pool. Here, the children as the subject of the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as an agent. The playground of the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as the source. The wedding pool as the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as goal. Let's look at the third sentence. John melted the ice with blue torch. Here, the John as the subject of the noun is assigned to the theta role as an agent. The ice of the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as the theme. A blue torch of the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as instrument. Let's look at the fourth sentence. The sun melted the ice. Here, the sun as the subject of the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as causative. The ice as the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as the theme. Let's look at the fifth sentence. The ice melted. Here, the noun phrase the ice is assigned to the theta role as the theme. Let's look at the sixth sentence. With a telescope, the boy saw the man. Here, a telescope as a noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as instrument. The boy of the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as experiencer. And the man of the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as the theme. Let's look at the seventh sentence. The farmer loaded some hay onto the truck. Here, the farmer of the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as an agent. Some hay as noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as a theme. And the truck of the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as the goal. Let's look at the eighth sentence. A lot of hay was loaded onto the truck by the farmer. Here, a lot of hay of the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role of the theme. The truck of the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as the goal, and the farmer as the noun phrase is assigned to the theta role as an agent. Alright, that's it.